Hello, this is Uncle Jim, and this is going to be my son's next AR project. And it all started with an A2 stock and grip that he got at the thrift store for $10 for all of this. And that's how we get into trouble. So, this came with the buffer tube and everything on it. So, the whole idea of the project is keep it on the cheap. And we'll just gut a bunch of Dad's parts and keep it cheap. And what he wants out of this is a retro cop style carbine with the numbers on the side, sitting on the rack, and just something old school with the carry handle fixed on the upper and everything retro. So that was his theme that he wants. And I get it. I have a pre-band Colt, a Vietnam-looking retro Colt, and this will be a smaller version of that. And I think that'll be great because we don't have anything like that. And so this is going to be the project. So during Labor Day sales, there was a lot of sales. Some things I didn't have. One of them being an extra full-size buffer. All right, so he got the full-size buffer on sale and the spring that'll go into the buttstock here, and he got that cheap. And then we were talking about, okay, I have uppers, I have lowers, what do you want to do? Well, one thing for sure he wanted was a non-bolt-on retro carry handle upper. Okay, so no bolts, all fixed, keep it simple, stupid. And so he got this. And he got this, everything was on sale. He got this from Rock River. And it looks really nice. No blams, no nothing wrong with it. It's got a little RRA right there, but that's okay because the trigger's gonna jive with this, okay? So he's going for the retro look. This is going to be pretty cool. All right. Continuing. So this was a good move. Now, we talked about handguards. We're going to have to gut one of my barrels. I have a 16-inch barrel that we're going to put on here, but there's some dilemmas with that. I have a gas piston on that one. We got to take that one off, but it just sits in the safe. All right, so next, and this looks really nice. So nothing to mess up here. You got your windage, elevation. These are rock solid. You can always put, a dot or scope there, but we're not doing that. All right, so the next question was, what handguard does he want? I have these traditional handguards, right? And he was like, yeah, I'm fine with that. And then we were thinking, I'm like, no. If you're going to do this, and if you're going to do that, we need a triangular handguard for a carbine, not a full size like my Colt. And so he searched around. Let me put that away. And I warned him because some of these retro triangular handguards are built really cheap. They're super flimsy. And so he looked around and did all the kind of feedback and everything. And he got a triangular handguard from luthar.com. And I was surprised because usually retro stuff costs more. And it was like, what, 35 bucks?
It was like 36.
Okay, $36. And then he's got the triangular piece here that we have to put in front of the front sight. All right, and then an extra pin or two for the gas tube. So that was from these guys. And none of this is free. This is what we're going to give our feedback on what's real and what you really paid for. So we got this handguard, and oh my gosh, I was impressed because I remember the flimsy aftermarket ones, and this is for a carbine, not a full length like my Colt. So this is going to be really fun, and it locks together. All right, and this thing, oops, oops, on the inside of the shields are all locked in with tabs on both sides. And the plastic they use, what do they use?
They use 30% nylon Zytel.
Okay, because this is not flimsy. This is really solid. And so that is...
Yeah, it's a 30% nylon.
This is going to be freaking awesome. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, get some.
Or rather,
retro.
30% fiberglass filled nylon.
I'm so happy you searched around and found the best company for this at a good price. $35 for retro, $36. You just can't find that. Everything lines up good. I don't have the notches. There you go. Everything lines up good, and it's not flimsy like some of the aftermarket.
Well,
this is
rock solid.
This thing's rock solid, and if you compare it, where's the other handguard? Oh, if you compare it to this big son of a bee, here. I mean, this is huge. You know, get your mitts around that. That's huge. And so I told him I was worried about, because I've never had a carbine length triangular handguard, and I thought it'd be a little more fat in the back and hard to hold. This thing is awesome.
Super comfy.
This is comfy. So this is going on that, which is going on this. And let's clear the desk, and keep talking. Well, okay. Let's go to the lower. Here, son, take this away. The less editing, the better. Even though I edit in 2 minutes, it doesn't take me long to edit anything. All right, so now the original plan was you just take one of my lowers. I got a lot of lowers laying around that already have trigger groups in it and everything else. And I said, what lower do you want? I have an old Arrow with the old logo. We have PSA. Who else we got? And then he showed me this. And he goes, I hope you're not mad I bought a lower to cost more money instead of using one of yours. And I'm like, what? But then he showed me this. And he got it on sale. And it says, property of U.S. government from Palmetto State Armory. How good is that for a retro-looking cop gun carbine? And I'm like, you know what did you pay for it? And I asked him, I said, I hope you didn't pay too much. And he said, no, it was on sale. And it was just a little more money than a
poverty pony.
Anderson.
The Anderson.
Yeah, it was a little more money than an Anderson lower. A poverty pony, and now we got a property pony. Property of the U.S. government. As a matter of fact, when he picked this up from the FFL, and it's not a blam or anything, it's perfect. When he picked it up from the FFL, the old guy who we love, he said, how did you get a government property lower?
He's like, I didn't know you could buy those.
And then my son explained, it's a repro, you know, from PSA. And it has the semi-safe and burst on it. All right, let's cut now and see what else we talk about. All right, so we're trying to do this all on the cheap, but now it's getting out of hand, but it all makes sense. All right, government lower, this upper, so it kind of makes sense. Now this upper is more matte than the lower. It doesn't have oil on it, but I can always airbrush. However, these stocks are matte, so it might everything might go together very well. Otherwise, I'll... Now, then we started digging through the lower parts kits. And Dad had robbed the Pooty. I had a couple lower parts kits, but I robbed the Pooty, and they weren't complete to complete this lower. So he went back online. This is during Labor Day sale, and believe it or not, with free shipping, Aero Precision had a complete lower parts kit without the trigger guard or the trigger group, which we don't need. And that was on sale, and that's the only thing we're waiting for now because Dad robbed the Pootie. Otherwise, I'm going to have to take apart one of my lowers or something. So I just said, just get it. Let's do this. Get her done.
Bitch.
Yeah, and so I think we're all done. We don't have a cleaning kit in here, but who uses that?
I'll just put a candy bar in there instead.
So, so then I asked him, okay, trigger. I have triggers that are nickel boron that are nice, but what about this? Since you have a Rock River upper, let's use a Rock River 2-stage trigger that I had laying around. And that's a very light trigger, very nice light trigger, except for it has a little more take up than my other 2 stages. But he's fine with that, and it's black, so we don't have to ruin the retro look, and no one's ever going to know that's a 2-stage instead of a stock trigger. And this thing breaks at about 2 pounds, so
I think it'll be appropriate.
I think that'll work. And you can bump fire if you want. All right. What else? So we're trying to do this on the cheap. Okay, see right here? It says, let's do a close-up. It says cheap fun. All right, so we're trying to, let me take a sip here while we focus. Now, you might be able to tell by now. At first, Dad was kind of hesitant, but Dad's a kid, and I'm enjoying the hell out of this project here. So we're going to put this together in a day or two. We're still waiting for the lower parts kit. I could rob some things, but I don't have the pins here. And I do have, we're going to do traditional trigger guard, just flat one. Got lots of those. And we'll go from there. But he turned Dad into a little kid again. And he needs to get the stencils. He's going to use 08 or 88. Have you figured it out yet? He likes 8.
88 sounds more appropriate.
All right. And then he wanted to color fill some of this. And I'm like, don't do that. That's for posers. Don't do the color fill. That's posing. But he wants to do the color fill, and he's going to do an antique color fill. And so, hey, if that's his thing, we'll do that. So pretty much we're close. Oh, what else? You got the, what else you got over there? I think he's going to go to a non-traditional charging handle lever type deal. Okay, so he's going to go a little wider on the charging handle. Okay, but you know, he doesn't mind mixing up a little new and old. But for the most part, it's going to be retro. And then I whipped out this. I said, hey, you want a 3-prong like Vietnam? And we might use the 3-prong here. I gotta clean it up a little bit, maybe spray it a little more flat with the airbrush and gun coat or Duracoat or Cerakote or coat.
I might check for some of those hard edges on it.
I did have a bolt. The bolt matches the upper the barrel we're going to put on it. So we got to tear all that apart. But this is a non-nitrided spikes bolt that is going with the barrel and the upper that I had in there. And it's hardly used at all. So we're going to use that. So that's just Parkerized whatever, old school. So that's going to be cool. So we'll throw that guy in there and it flicks out. So everything's good. I think this is going to run like a rape tape. All right, so we got that. What else, boy? Trigger, everything else? Okay. So I guess we'll just show the barrel that we're going to take off of one of my guns that have been sitting in the back of the safe and talk about that. Oh, another thing. I've neglected the boy. He has not shot my Colt Retro AR yet. So,
or the Garand.
Or the Garand, yeah. I've neglected the boy, so let's take care of that so he can feel and hear the sound of the sproing. When you have these retros here with the buffers and everything in the buttstock, it makes you laugh because every time you shoot it, you hear a sproing noise right here. And that's how they used to be. That's
Like
how
a Nerf gun.
Yeah, so I think you need to shoot the Colt so you can laugh and giggle. Just like when a clip comes out of the M1 Grand, you laugh every time it hits the ground. And rolling. Oh yeah. Embrace the goodness. All right, did you hear the spring noise?
Yes.
Was it awesome?
It's cool.
It's awesome.
It's
That's
cool.
America. All right. Boof. Okay, we're gonna rub the putty and use this barrel, 16-inch rifle length gas, and that'll be appropriate for this. But there are a few issues here I have to take out. Let me get this out here. I have to take out the piston. So we're going to use this barrel, this front sight, and everything will be good again. And it's got a bayonet lug, so he can put one of my bayonets on there if
I
he
have
wants.
a bayonet.
This is a Early Spikes chrome line barrel, so it'll be appropriate. And at the time, the only 2 mil-spec guns you can get when I did this was Colt and Spikes. Everyone else was not completely mil-spec and tested, and so this is all appropriate for this. So we're going to do that. Change the flash hider, save this. We're going to have to take the front sight off to get the piston off, and then this
plate.
and the plate we're going to have to go to triangle. And then after that, I'm going to use this piston, which works awesome. This gun was flawless. I just don't shoot it much, and you don't get any dirt in your receiver at all because everything is right here. So I'm going to use this on a 300 blackout project, and I might even put an adjustable gas tube on it for suppressed and have the piston, and nothing gets gunked up in your receiver. So it's a win-win. He takes some parts and I make something else out of it. So we're going to do that. So there's the plan there. All right. And this is so nice. So nice. All right. Okay, so the other win-win, other than me having a project next, is I have a complete lower that I get back free. So this is a Early Spikes. Look at the serial number. This is a very Early Spikes 2-digit serial number, and they always made good stuff back in the day. And so this will go on something else eventually. Now, I love the big spider. I don't have a spider. I only have, what are these things called again?
Scorpions.
I only have scorpions right now, but I have a spider that I can put on another project later. So anyway, enough rambling. Stay tuned for the video. We got Thunderstorms coming maybe in a day or two. We'll put it all together. Hopefully that lower parts kit shows up.
They're dragging their feet on it.
They're dragging their feet. All right. And we'll go from there. So stay tuned to the finalized project. I'll show what I can according to YouTube, maybe in steps, how we do the barrel and put everything on and take everything off and all that stuff. Until next time, I'm still a kid, aren't I, boy?
A really big kid, yeah.
he says I'm a really big kid and a crazy kid and sometimes a little ridiculous, right? But you love me.
Don't make me say short bus kid.
He called me a short bus kid.
No, I said don't make me call you
The
that.
short school bus, really? Am I that bad? All right, until next time, people, thanks for watching.